Welcome back, Silver Bull fans. Welcome back to Silver Bull channel. People may wonder why I harp on about the exchange rate when I'm talking about silver. I'll go into that in a second. But the simple fact is, I did a video a while ago about the Aussie exchange rate, and I saw it going to at least a $1.20. It's currently $1.07. It peaked at $1.10, but it's still got a lot of upward pressure. Here's a Dr. Savuri, head of Tosca hedge fund, who says he believes it's going to reach $1.30 by 2013 and $1.70 by 2014. So that's a big call. He says, and when you think what is happening in the US, I can't see them increasing interest rates for at least 18 months, and that will have an impact. I personally think if you got up to that, or where the US dollar was $2, what you're looking is at hyperinflation in the US and the collapse of the US dollar. It is certainly possible, and what you need to do is have a look at history, the Great Depression and the Weimar Republic in Germany, even Zimbabwe. These previous financial crises give us lessons of how things are going to affect us today. You can't take them exact though, because for example, for the Great Depression, when the Great Depression struck the US in the 1930s, the vast majority of Americans still lived on the land. They could grow their own food. So although they were unemployed, they weren't hungry. Whereas today, the vast majority of Americans are urbanized. They live in cities, they live in flats and units, and don't even have any land to till. The simple fact of the matter is the Great Depression now, they're going to go hungry, and hungry people create civil disturbances. So if we do have hyperinflation set in the US, we will have some sort of mass civil unrest. If that happens, the US government may invoke martial law, and who knows where that'll end. These are really real risks, people. I'm not putting this on. If you think I am, say so in the comments. Feel free to comment. But people go hungry, they're going to do what they do in the Middle East. I don't believe culturally we're all the same, and it annoys me people who try to create this one great big melting pot, because I believe that's racist for starters. I value people having a different culture. I think the fact of trying to put everyone in one melting pot and bring out multicoloured people is a crock. It's an insult to every individual in their culture and their heritage. It's an insult to their ancestors. If I grow a flower garden, I don't just want one colour of flower. I want heaps of different colours. Variety is the spice of life. So to those do-gooders who want every country to be a multicultural slum, as it were, to me they're a disgrace, and they end up reaping what they sow. But back onto the main point here. A lot of people, when they look at silver, they simply say, if I bought it at $10 an ounce and sold it at $20 an ounce, I've made a $10 profit. Well, let's say you're in the US and you do that, but during that year your dollar depreciates with a third of that. So you could make $10 an ounce that year on your silver, but your dollar's depreciated so much. Let's say it's actually you've actually lost $10 an ounce when you think of it in what your money will buy. That's unlikely with silver because it is a greater inflation hedge, but it's not impossible. And these are things. This is where you got to look below that first layer of silver investing. You can't just look at the charts. And you can't just say, oh, if it's good for an American, it's good for an Australian, or a person in Britain, or a person in Japan, or China, or anywhere. Each country has its own things that have advantages and disadvantages. For example, I believe in the United Kingdom they have a 17% VAT tax. Well, as soon as you buy your silver, you've already got to overcome this government penalty of 17%. Um, you know, that's a big call. Any profit you make, you make a 20% profit in a year. Well, you got to take out that 17% premium you had to pay on it. So you have advantages and disadvantages. In Australia, you can buy silver, but as our dollar's appreciating against the US, the gains in that term are somewhat eaten up by that. Each country has its advantages and disadvantages. In the US, one of their advantages is, one, silver is denominated in US dollars, and two, they have corporations like Amex and Gainesville Coins who sell very close to spot, and in fact buy back very close to spot. Whereas here in Australia, because we have a smaller population, we basically only have one decent sized bullion dealer in each state. So, there's the Perth Mint in Western Australia, there's Ainsley Bullion in Brisbane in Queensland, there's ABC in Sydney, New South Wales, there'd be one in Victoria as well. But, these guys charge a lot more over spot. There's a higher premium to buy silver from them, and they certainly buy back at a lot lower than spot as well. So in Australia, you've got to think about that. Whereas silver investment may be a great investment for the United States citizens, in Australia you've got these other factors to consider. You're going to pay more of a premium buying and selling, so you're going to have more of a winner on the upside to cover that. You're going to have to compete about the fact that our dollar's rising, and how's that going to affect it. These are things to consider, and you got to be a bit more scientific about your investing. You can't just think about if I double my money of whatever I've sold, I've made a profit. That's not always the case because of these underlying factors. These are things you have to consider. Alright? You get a lot of people out there on YouTube who seem to make it as simple as possible. There's actually all these underlying factors you've got to consider as well, alright? Let's say I don't believe it is, but let's say I believe silver was going to stay completely stationary now. It was going to be $35 all year long till the end of the year. Yet I believe the Aussie dollar is going to continue rising. Well, if that was my belief, I would wait till the end of the year to buy the silver, even though there's no change in the silver price, because my rising Australian dollar gives me the power to buy more silver. And these are things you have to think about. You could think silver's going to go down by the end of the year, but if you believe the Aussie dollar was going to half in value, then you'd be better to buy now. So just take a step back, have a think of some of these other issues when it comes to silver investing, and that's why I speak about the dollar on the Silver Bull channel. People kind of think, why is he fascinated about the Aussie dollar or the US dollar or any currency around the world? It's because they are part of the game. They're part of the trade. They're factors that you must consider. So I'm just trying to lift us up a level. I'm not saying I've got this figured out. I don't, because there are too many levels to it. But it's better to have more knowledge than less knowledge. If you agree with what I'm saying, say so in the comments. If you like this video, please rate it up. I have quite a small subscriber base by YouTube standards. Maybe I'm just a boring speaker, I don't know. I'm just trying to I try to do a variety of videos, like I did some on dry ice and that, just for a bit of difference. The main theme is silver, but every now and again I chuck in a video of different stuff. I want to thank my subscribers who do watch on a regular basis and do comment. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I do this video for you guys and myself. In many ways you'd say, well, I may have only 100 people, but if they're looking every time and they're enjoying and commenting, well, I'd be a lot happier than if I've got 10,000 who never really look or watch the first 5 seconds. I'm not here to be a comedian. You know, I'm not one of these populist channels that talk about shit. It's just amazing when I look at YouTube what videos people look at, and unfortunately, the vast majority of people out there are sheeple, and they listen to dribble. I hopefully trying to give people a bit more of an educated thing, a bit more of a discussion, you know. If any of you can see where you think I'm going wrong in my YouTube presentations, feel free to put it in the comments. I've got thick skin. I try to make it as interesting as possible. Anyhow, that's enough of my rant for today. All I'm saying is when it comes to silver, you've got to think of these other factors, hence why I talk about the currency rates, because they have a role to play as well. Keep stacking, and let's hope silver goes down to $25 an ounce, US dollars, and if that's the case, I'm hoping the Australian dollar keeps rising against the US, because as I said before, I've got a set number of ounces set in my mind, and that's what I want. I want the ounces, alright? I want to establish my core position. Once I have that, maybe then I can do what John Christian and others do, and, you know, sell for a profit. But I first want to get that core position. Have a happy day, everyone, and keep stacking.